Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. And I'm just checking in on you. I'm checking in to see how's your week going. You're almost there, man. It's fucking Thursday, man. If you're on the East Coast, it's almost lunchtime. All right? By the time this comes out, it'll be lunchtime. What are you going to get? Huh? You going to go out and get something heavy? Are you going to start the weekend right? Go out and get something healthy. Bring the stomach down a little bit. You feel a little more comfortable, right? A little more confident. You go out to the clubs with your button-down shirt. Your belly's not pressing against it, right? Well, I used to do a bit in my act where your buttons are doing like the iron cross, hanging onto both sides of your shirt like, hey, yeah! You don't need that. Make life a little easy. Why is this fucking thing only on one goddamn channel? Oh, well, I'll figure it out. That's it. You know, that's it. No, the elevator only goes to the 4th floor. That's where I am right now with my anger. No more going to the penthouse, okay? I've downsized my anger life. I've moved down to a floor that I feel is just a little more affordable and everybody can relax around me. You know what it is I don't have any time. I think that's something. I feel like that triggers me. Billy no time, Billy no time. They call him Billy no time because he's got no time. You know, my wife knows I don't have any time. Don't you, Nia? You know I don't have any time. But what does she do? The fuck was that? Was that yelling just set off one of my kids' toys? I like that. It's like a sound effect. What did I just yell? I'll see if I can make that. But you know, don't you, Nia? She's got this one friggin' toy. It's fucking crazy. I like it because there's all these different musical instruments and it teaches the kids about it. But I swear to God, the guy's energy, it's like Willie Ames and Charles in Charge. You know, he's like, Charles! It's the same thing. It's like, bop and rock, bop and rock, bop and rock. Pick 4 instruments. Oh, that's a trumpet. It's like, buddy, relax. I don't want to hear you playing an instrument when you're all fucking wound up like that. Have that constipated fucking sound coming out of your instrument. Miles Davis turning around, giving you that look on the bandstand. Relax a little bit. Bop and rock, bop and rock. Is scootily boop boo, is that a trumpet? Right? You want to live in there? I'm not a musical guy. Fuck you, I'm a goddamn comedian. Speaking of which, I want to thank Madison Square Garden and Rory Rose Garden for having me on the Garden of Dreams. And it's this really great charity where they basically, you know, underprivileged kids who are sick and all that, they got a dream and they come out and they make it come true. It was really nice. It was funny. I was doing the press there. I was doing the press and Jeffrey Gurian was in. I always fuck with him. I always have a great time with him. But one of the ladies in line was like, do you know what this charity is about? You know, and I just seen some kid, you know, in a wheelchair, kid on a walker or whatever, and it's just like, oh God, do you know what this charity is for? I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. So I'm going to come off like an asshole, but the reason why I said that was because I really didn't feel like talking about it. You know, once you have like a kid, it affects you, like you have something to apply it to, where before I was like, oh my God, I felt bad for that, and I'm just like, I felt the whole fucking thing. The parents, the whole thing. Tell us about the charity. Can you go through the emotion of it? No, I won't be. I don't know what it is. It's Madison Square Garden. They asked me to come out here. So anyway, I go and I do this show. Fucking monster lineup of comics. Everybody fucking killed. Fortunately, I went on during the middle. Seinfeld had to close it out. Jon Stewart went on a second to last. And Michael Che, Jesus Christ, he came in fucking murdered. Came in from SNL, still had his jacket on. Just walked on stage, fucking murders, leaves. Like a fucking joke assassin. Who else was on it? John Mulaney, fucking murdering. Liza Schlesinger, murdered. Brian Regan. That's how big the show. Brian Regan opened. That's how fucking amazing this show was. So I was happy. I'm sure I forgot somebody. I know I did. I know there was more than that. Who else was on it? Come on, Bill. Think. I don't fucking know. Steve Sharippa hosted the thing.
One of the crew guys at Madison Square Garden, his name was.
You know what's cool? We were going through the bowels of the place, going over to the theater at Madison Square Garden where Eddie Murphy recorded Raw. I always think about that when I was there, and when I'm there. And we were going through. We had to go up the elevator, and they had all the Ottawa Senators like hockey bags. They were loading them in because the Rangers were playing them the next night. And lo and behold, the next night I'm back in L.A. because I got up at 4 a.m. to get back to my lovely wife and kid. As you do as a dad, because it's not about you anymore. You've moved down the depth chart. What do you think, you're going to get some sleep there, Dad? Don't think so. Billy, no time. Billy, no time. I got on the fucking plane, flew back here, and then I ended up watching like a period and a half of the game, and lo and behold, they cut to some highlights from the Garden. They didn't show the show, thank Christ. I was a little rusty. I'm not going to lie to you. I hadn't done much stand-up after I did my special. I was like, I'm going to take some time for me. You know what I mean? Put my feet up and just sort of, what was that fucking word those kinds of people use? Not regroup. Just allow myself to just realign my synapses. No, I just didn't feel like going out or anything, and I was fucking wiped out, and I felt like a fighter that didn't spar, you know. Just be whatever, man. I'm the champ. I got the belt, right? I just knocked out. You know, my last set was my stand-up special. I fucking knocked that out. I'm the fucking champ over here. And I got the old right there, Fred. The second I walked out there, so I meandered a little bit in the beginning. Then I got it going. And, oh, my God, I had this fucking hilarious moment in my set where, you know, I was making fun of Michelle Obama because how do you not? You know what I mean? The level that she's been gassed up to. You know, she's the president's wife. All right, everybody relax. That was basically my angle. So, fucking, all the women are going to fucking lose their minds. Especially white women who also don't have jobs, who are, there's a lot of rich people there, right? So I was, I was pushing their buttons. I mean, in fairness to the audience, I was being a cunt. And I was saying, how being a first lady, it's not a job. I don't understand what all the excitement's about. It's not a job, right? And I hear those, yes, it is. It is a job. So I keep setting off that toy. So I say, and I just saw, I can't see into the crowd, right? So I just look into the blackness of like the 10th row. This voice that I just heard. I'm like, you think it's a job? And it's, yes. I'm like, all right, ma'am. I'm going to do me a favor. You tell me how the fuck that's a job. And the woman goes, first of all, it's sir. Turned out it was a dude, right? So then immediately you feel like this fucking post-Me Too tension, a gender-neutral bathroom, all this fucking energy. And I just went like, well, gotta tell you, you got a high-pitched voice. You sound like a woman. Something, I was really not enjoying this time, and now I've realized that this is one of the greatest times ever to be a fucking comedian. The amount of fun that you can have. And there was not, you sound like a woman. And you know what, nowadays it's just like, well, what does a woman sound like? You know what a woman sounds like. You know what a guy sounds like. You know the base fucking thing. I hate when people do that. Remember during the OJ trial? When that guy said it sounded like a black guy, and everybody's like, what does a black guy say? You know what the fucking what does an Irish guy sound like? What does a German guy, what does a French guy sound like? There's accents. Not saying everybody sounds like that. You know what I mean? But if you met a black guy going like, oh, how are you? Top of the morning to you. You'd be like, this guy is fucking with me. But because it's a trial, and somebody's freedom is on the line, you have to take into consideration that this might be the anomaly. Now, I understand that. But to say that somebody's saying, that sounded like an Asian dude, that there's something like fucking, I don't know, clannish about that. I guess there could be. Speaking of that, well, I tell you, one time I was in San Francisco, right? Visiting the bathhouses. And I got into a cab, and this Asian dude was driving. And he sounded like he was on fucking hee-haw. So there is always that exception. I swear to God, straight up Asian dude, and he was just going like, man, I'll tell you, this traffic out here is ridiculous. And I'm looking at the dude being like, is this guy fucking with me? Hey, how long y'all gonna be out here in San Francisco? And I was just like, dude, I gotta ask, where the fuck are you from? And he laughed. He's like, man, I grew up in Tennessee. I know it's fucked up to hear me talking like this, but where I grew up, everybody did. And then he started telling me how he did all this extra work and how he was an extra in Clint Eastwood's, one of those Dirty Harry movies. And I got his phone number, and this is when I was back on Opie and Anthony. I was like, oh my God, we got to get this guy on the show. So there is an exception. But I mean, there's also, that's not a reason to, what do the kids call it now? You've been canceled. You sound Latino. Just exactly what does that mean? Did I tell you that time I was going to Charlie Murphy's funeral? And I had packed hastily, you know what I mean? Because you never know when someone's going to pass away. All of a sudden it's like, shit, we got to go. So I forgot to pack my underwears there. So where I was staying in New York had become a gay part of town, right? And because it didn't used to be gay. It used to be fucking shady. And then all the gay guys moved in. And then you know what happens. All of a sudden there's nice restaurants. There's a nightlife. There's fucking mood lighting. It's awesome, right? So right across the street from where I was staying was this clothing store. And I'm not going to lie to you. You know, in the fucking windows, they definitely had like the mannequin with the leather underwear and the hat. But I mean, I had to go. But I saw they had other fucking T-shirts in there. So I went in there trying to find some underwear. So I figured that was just like an aisle, right? The dog collar gimp aisle, right? So I go into this fucking place. And I'm trying to find underwear. And all they got is like the fucking I finally find an underwear cut that I can wear to a funeral. All right? Rather than wearing the Greg Louganis goes to Brazil fucking cut, right? So I finally find the cut, and then on I know I've told this story before, but there's always new listeners, right? On the waistband, it said nasty pig. You know, in the funeral, you know, the service is like fucking 90 minutes away. It's out in Jersey, and time has become an issue. So I walk up to the counter, and there's this dude standing there talking to the person behind the register, and I kind of interrupted. I was like, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt. I go, do you have any like mainstream underwear? That's what I said. You have any mainstream underwear? And the guy got offended. He's like, define mainstream. I just stayed in the pocket. I was like, oh, I don't know. It doesn't say nasty pig on the waistband. And then he had nothing. He was trying to do that like, you know, trying to make me out to be like homophobic. I can't fucking come home to my wife off the road with underwear that says nasty pig on it. Honey, I swear to God, I was going to a funeral. And I needed some underwear. It was a glitch. The hatch just blew, right? All of a sudden, I'm Gus Grissom of fucking underwear. Anyways. So that ended up being a lot of fun. And I finished my set, and I said, thank you. God bless everybody, including you, sir, with your high-pitched voice. So I guess I was a bit of a cut. But so last night, right, and I really did not like that feeling of being like rusty or whatever. So, I mean, I already look rusty. Hey, remember Rusty Jones? Hello, goodbye, hello, Rusty Jones. Goodbye, Rusty, cars shine on. You should be able to make a living doing that, writing jingles, 8-second songs. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper, to be a pepper? Drink Dr. Pepper. Bam! House in the Hollywood Hills. Whores by the pool. Cocaine on the piano. Those days are all gone. So then the second you make it, somebody takes it on the internet, and then they do a mashup, right? With the fucking, I don't know, the Coca-Cola song. I don't know how it fucking works anymore. But that was a job when I was growing up. You'd have a party, and there would be somebody at your house. One guy was a milkman, and another person wrote jingles for commercials. Right? And then there was always somebody in actuaries just sizing everybody up, trying to figure out when you're going to die.
Well, he's already 22 pounds overweight as far as my visual estimate goes, and that is his second helping of cream of spinach. It can't be good for the arteries. I'm gonna say that guy's gonna tap out around 57. That was a dangerous age when I was growing up, 57. You know, that's when you were in the red zone of having a heart attack. 57, fucking 63, 61. A lot of guys dropped at 61. Which didn't seem like a big deal when I was like 5, 6. You know? Fucking guy was born in like the early 1900s. He had a great run. Right? That guy was alive when Babe Ruth was in shape. But when all of a sudden you're 50, staring down the barrel of 51 in June. Oh my God. Oh my God. I go to the airport, right? Like, pick up 10 of 5 is what it actually was, right? And I get to the airport like 5:30, cruised right out to fucking JFK. All right? I got my ticket on my cell phone. All right? I'm a modern man. I'm not checking any bags. I'm a little fucking Mr. Technology. So I'm pre-checked TSA, right? I fucking go through that shit. And I got my ticket, and I just put my phone down on the thing, and I set it down on the thing, and on my cell phone case, I got this cluster of pictures of me and my lovely daughter, right? So I set it down, and, you know, there's a woman there, so, you know, they can't resist a kid. She sees it, and she just goes, "Aw." I go, "Yeah, isn't she a beauty?" And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Is that your granddaughter?" Oh! Oh, did that hurt? And I laughed. I said, "No, it's my daughter." I go, "I got a late start." Oh, and then I just limped through fucking security. I had such a fucking spring in my step. I'm like, I haven't boozed 130 days, right? My skin's clearing up. I'm drinking fucking smoothies. I'm looking younger than my years, and she set me. She fucking strapped me in right on top of the rocket and just shot me right back to the reality of my fucking age, man. Oh, man, that killed me. Fucking killed me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought I'd tell this story and then have a joke at the end of it, but all I have is just the raw emotion of that. That really fucking hurt. You know? So see, there you go, ladies. There's a pressure. There's a stigma when you're a bald, redheaded male. But the reality is I am old. I mean, if I had a kid at 25, my kid would be coming up on 26, and if my kid had a kid about the same time I did, then fuck it, I would be old enough to be a grandfather. See? So I'm not going to get mad at her. I'm not going to write TSA.com and be like, I was so triggered when somebody stated a fact about my age. You know what? I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it like a fucking man. What did I want to talk about here? Oh, I got not so much shit. I got a couple of emails from these fucking F1 snobs because I was talking about how rooting for Ferrari is like rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I was painting them as an underdog. Now, even though I clearly stated that I just started watching like fucking 3-4 years ago, Ferrari has not been doing well. All right, second place, you're the first loser. So what I said was accurate. And they're sitting there talking down to this father who looks like a grandfather, talking down to me, this person who has difficulty reading out loud, talking down to me, the hero of this podcast. The greatest person on this podcast right now is me. And it's not because I'm the only voice. It's because I'm the only one who votes. Giving me shit. Like, I didn't understand that Ferrari is... I know what a Ferrari is, you fucking morons. Everybody knows what a Ferrari is. I know their history. I actually read this book called The Limit about the first American F1 champion, One of the great fucking books I ever read. I wish I didn't give it away. I always give away the books. Absolutely fucking love that book. And I understand, okay? I know where it's at. All right? I'm just saying, the last couple of years, I mean, ever since I've been watching this sport, since like 2015, 2016, whenever the fuck I started, it's just been Mercedes. All right? I'm getting sick of it. You know, the same way you guys are sick of the Patriots. I would like to see Ferrari make a run. Although since then, I did see that new guy, John, what's his face there? The new driver, who's not Kimi Räikkönen, the new guy driving for Ferrari. He's like, man, you know, well, I guess we got lucky that the safety car came out, and he was really positive about it, and that made me, that gave me some hope. It gave me some hope. By the way, are we gonna have a fucking benefit for fucking Daniel Ricciardo yet? You know, they're always doing stand-up benefits. I want to do a stand-up benefit to get that guy a fucking team that can give him a car that's going to be able to finish the fucking race. That poor bastard. I swear to God, if they take the smile away from that man, you know, that's really going to be a difficult fucking thing to watch. Somebody so young, so full of life, you know, twinkle in his eye. How many fucking times can you just be driving, crushing it, and all of a sudden your car just shuts off? You know? Or for some reason somebody puts a mogul in the goddamn grass, and you try not to get sideswiped, and you go over just a cunt hair under the grass, and the front of your car fucking explodes. I don't get it. The guy's fucking snake bitch. Snake bitch? Snake bit. Sorry. Oh, so I saw the, did I tell you guys I saw the MotoGP from Argentina. I got a lot of questions, all right? As I take a sip of a green smoothie. A green smoothie. You guys want a good recipe for a smoothie? Green smoothie? Here it is. Cup of ice. Cup of almond milk. Sorry, starting over again. Quarter cup of ice. A cup of almond milk. A banana. A cup of spinach. A cup of a tablespoon of all natural honey. 2 tablespoons of instant oatmeal, and 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Just try to get all natural everything. And this is how I do it. I put the ice, the almond milk, and the spinach in first, and then maybe like some of the honey. Because what happens is, you know, the way you do it, like sometimes it can turn into like a shake if there's too much ice, but there's not enough ice in here. Then I blend that. Then I put the banana in there first, and then I put in the oats, and then the peanut butter or whatever, and that way it stays on top of the banana and it doesn't sink all the way fucking down. Because like it's really the peanut butter and the honey. It's going to stick down to the bottom and it won't be part of the fucking mix. So, however I just said that, don't put the honey in where I said that. Flip the oats and the honey and mix it up that way, and you should be good. And I do like two separate mixes. There you go. Drink that fucker. Drink your breakfast. Be a champion. Be like a dad who looks like a grandfather. Oh, God, that fucking killed me. You know? I swear to God, if Just for Men actually gave a shit about men with red beards, I would have gone out and bought some. Like if they were selling it on the plane, and I would have been quietly crying to myself as I combed it into my chin. All right. Here's my question about the MotoGP. I don't get, what the fuck is with Marc Marquez's fucking motorcycle where it's just, they even called it. You know, he might just take off and this could be a boring race, and then the guy quickly corrected himself. Not saying that it's going to be boring. The guy just fucking, he got a good start and he got out front and he had like a fucking 15-second lead by the middle of the race or something crazy. I don't understand why his bike is so much faster. I thought that the Ducatis were all on like the same level. But he just pulled away like, you know, he had the IROC Z and everybody else had the Rally Sport or the Berlinetta. You know, the Firebird versus the Trans Am. It's the exact opposite of F1. So then the whole fucking race, the exciting part of the race was watching Dovizioso and Valentino Rossi battling for second place. And Marc Marquez was so far out into the front
that they just had him in a little square on the upper right-hand side of the my computer screen here while we just watched everybody else battle. And I don't understand what happened to Jorge Lorenzo. Did he push the wrong button? Because he's also riding a Honda. And then they were all bitching about Dovizioso and his little aerodynamic thing that cooled off his back tire. They thought that was a ridiculous advantage. And then the very next race, all of a sudden, this guy, Marc Marquez just takes off, and Dovizioso still has that thing cool in his back tire. I guess what they should have done, because they were so busy fucking with each other, trying to pass each other racing, what they should have done is just accepted that Dovizioso was in second. They all got in behind each other, like the peloton, and is that how you say it? In bike racing, and eventually they would cut through the wind and catch up with the guy. And then once they caught up with them, then it could be like, all right, let's start racing again. Is that legal to do that? To actually become a team? To catch the fucking guy who's already 8 seconds in front of you? I don't know. And then lastly, Cal Crutchlow, is that his name? He got fucked on that race. He got fucked. All right? He had an incredible fucking start. And to the naked eye, he didn't start too soon. And the fact that there's a goddamn computer now. Like, people's brains are not as good as a fucking computer. Can't see that thing. So he doesn't know he's cheating. He just thought he got a good fucking start. Oh, man, they fucked that guy over. They fucked him over. All right, so there you go. There's my little motorcycle talk, and I'm going to read some advertising, and then I'm going to wrap this fucking podcast up. And I'm going to get on with my busy day here. All right. Oh, here we go. Ba-do-do-do, me-undies, Billy is old and gray. Do-do-do-do, me-undies, that's what the ladies say. You have a beautiful fucking granddaughter. That's not my granddaughter, right? Nothing rhymes with daughter. I'm too fucking old to make it song fucking work. Somebody get me a jar of gelatol and some soft fucking underwears. Okay, BuzzFeed said this about MeUndies. They feel like actual heaven against your skin. We're going to assume heaven is really soft in this context. Well, don't you pay BuzzFeed? Or do they just review shit? I don't know. Ask Men. Well, isn't that a nice magazine? I'd like to be asked things. Feel like I'm being heard. Ask Men said they feel like silk drenched in hand lotion. Gross! Silk drenched in hand. Like, I know hand lotion makes your hands soft, and I know silk is soft, so if you combine both those, but you also jerk off with lotion, and if you put that on the fabric, now the fabric is wet, and it's going to be sticking to your balls. All right? This is why you don't ask men things. These undies are so soft, they make Bob Ross's voice sound like Gilbert Godfrey. They are so soft that Kenny G thinks about them to get inspired to write his next song. Kenny G! Taking a hit there. What did Kenny do? MeUndies uses the coveted modal fabric that is a full 3 times softer than cotton. Take that, big cotton. You big puffy. Oh, yeah, and cotton's also white, too. You fabric toxicity, fabric patriarchal cunt. Speaking of prints, why not match your bottom half with your better half and get a matching prints for you and your partner? MeUndies is also, do they have like underwear for alternative couples? Lifestyles? It says Nasty Pig on one and it says Nasty Pig 2 on the other one. MeUndies is also the go-to for the softest loungewear on this side of the Mississippi. Hang out in their super comfy lounge pants and onesies. Yes, MeUndies makes onesies, and they're incredible. MeUndies has a great offer for my listeners. For any first-time purchasers, when you order MeUndies, you get 15% off and free shipping. This is a no-brainer. Get 15% off the most comfortable underwears you will ever put on. To get your 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guaranteed, go to MeUndies.com/Burr. That's MeUndies.com/Burr. MEUNDIES. It's like the Me Too thing, except it says undies. Hashtag MeUndies. All right, Butcher Box, everybody. Oh, here we go. Butcher Box delivers healthy, 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, free-range organic chicken, and heritage breed pork. Did you guys see Nate Bargatze's special yet? The Tennessee kid? That guy's absolutely brilliant. He has a great bit on free-range chickens versus the ones that that were not
free to range about. It's on Netflix, streaming now. Look at that. It's an ad within an ad. The incredible quality of Butcher Box meats start with the commitment to raising animals humanely and free of antibiotics and hormones. Cook with the peace of mind, knowing you are eating healthy, high-quality meat. Each box comes with at least 8 to 11 pounds of meat, which is enough for 24 individual-sized meals if you're a city slicker. But if you some big fastball driving some bitch, that's only enough for you and 4 of your friends. You can choose from 5 different boxes, all beef. Ladies, beef and chicken, beef and pork mixed box for you progressive people. Custom box lets you choose your own cuts. That's for the conservative, you know? That's for the people who want to keep their meat separate. And we will only take these. They are the highest cuts of the meat. My favorite cut of meat is the heritage breed pork. Oh, man, I have a fucking recipe. I was at the airport there. Oh, grandfather Burr here, and Grandpa Burr. And I was, it was basically showing how you can make all these meals in just one pot. You know what I mean? You know those great fucking things, that comfort food that's going to make you fucking blow up. I got a good one for pork chops that I'm going to try this weekend. Oh, I can't wait. I really am like a grandfather. I'm excited about cooking pork chops. All right, this month, Butcher Box is offering the unlimited breakfast bundle. What is this? This includes 2 packages of bacon and 2 pounds of breakfast sausages, all for free in your first box. Our bacon is the best bacon you've ever had. It's Whole30 approved. I don't even know what that means. What, the 30 people running the bacon world? Uncured, nitrate, and sugar-free. This sausage is a healthy, authentic version of a classic-style pork sausage. My mouth is watering, like literally, reading this. Simply seasoned with salt and pepper and sage. Oh, my God. What a way to start the day. I'd eat that, I would start crying. Looking across the table. My wife would be like, what's the matter, honey? It's just so good. Right now, new members will get 2 packages of bacon and 2 pounds of breakfast sausage added to your first box for free. Plus, you'll get $20 off your first box. Go now while supplies last, as this is a limited time offer. These people know how to do it. All right? You want Americans to buy your beef? You dangle free bacon and sausage in their fucking face and you set a timer. Jesus Christ, the amount of fucking... You know what? So, the amount of fucking people in overalls right now that are like half hard listening to this. Overalls are like the onesies for rednecks. You know? That's when they know that they grew up. I ain't got no sleeves on my... Hey, buddy, you don't know who you fucking with. I ain't got no sleeves or feet on my onesies. I walk outside in my onesie. That's how I do it. All right, that's the podcast, everybody. Please enjoy the musical interlude, and then there's going to be another half-hour bonus here of a Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast, Greatest Hit, an episode from earlier. I didn't even mention last night, so I went out and I did 2 sets. That's right, because I didn't like feeling rusty. And I got this whole new chunk, and it came last night, and I had a great set. And then Brian Callen probably said some of the nicest shit anybody said to me about, as a comedian. I think he's absolutely fucking brilliant. So I'm actually going to call him today and thank him for the compliment. It put me on a stand-up high, which being the age that I am, I got called a grandfather, and I have an AARP card, and I've still never fucking used it. Okay, and if you're young and you don't know what it is, that's awesome. Enjoy the part of your life where you don't know what an AARP, you're not qualified yet for one of those fucking things. All right, that's the podcast. Enjoy the music. Have a great weekend, you cunts. And I'll see you on Monday. Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr. It's the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, April 4th, 2011, or 2011, as I saw it so succinctly put this weekend by the great comedian Patton Oswalt. That's how he said it. He was on stage. I was doing a show with him, the Kevin and Bean April Foolishness show. And I noticed at some point at the Gibson Amphitheater, by the way, formerly known as the Universal Amphitheater. For Blues Brother fans, you might recognize that name, right? Remember that? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Universal Amphitheater. Here it is, something, going on 1985. So much of the music here today is pre-programmed electronic disco. That's where the fuck they did that. They were opening for Steve Martin at the height of Steve Martin's career when he had the white suit with the bow and arrow going through it. So that's the second year in a row I've got to do that wonderful program, show, performance, whatever the fuck you call it. And it was an awesome night of comedy. But there was something learned. And all the filth and funnery that I saw that night was Patton said 2011. So that's how I'm saying it for the rest of the year because I can't say 2011. I have to slow down. 2011. 2011. See, it runs together. 2011. All of a sudden, everybody in the room relaxes. Hey, we're with a friend. We thought that redheaded guy was who's left-handed some of the times, was a spawn of the devil, you know? That's what they used to think about redheads and people who wrote with their left hand. So basically, if it was still the 1800s, I would be getting the shit slapped out of me in one of those fucking schools, you know, that they used to have on Little House on the Prairie where you had grades 2 through 8 were all sitting in the same room. Tell me there wasn't inappropriate behavior going on there. You know, you're a senior in high school, right? All of a sudden the freshman girls come in. There's always one pervert in your grade would descend onto someone who was basically a fucking child at that point. You can't tell me back in the day, in the 1800s, when people got married at 14 so they could pool together their shillings so they could go buy a fucking plot of land and some oxen? Huh? You telling me some 8th grader wasn't rolling up on a 4th grader? You know, like some Catholic fucking priest. I'm not going to start that goddamn debate again. Speaking of which, hey, you know what? For some reason, the theme to Laverne and Shirley's in my head today. We're going to do it. I think that's been in my head before. Every once in a while, TV that I watched way too much back in the day pops into my head. But anyways, getting back to the Catholic Church thing, somebody sent me a little Bible thing. Said the dinosaurs are called behemoths in the Bible. And about outer space, aliens, ships, spaceships, abductions is talked about in Ezekiel 1. And these are from in the King James Bible. Now, after all these years of trash in the Bible, have I ever mentioned to you guys that I haven't even read the fucking thing? Oh, I've tried. I've tried to read the thing, but it's all he saideth unto youeth. And then the fucking Polynesians said to the Persians. I mean, I can't get through it. It's like trying to read Shakespeare. But as far as I remember going to church, they said that, Earth was created in 6 days. On the 7th day, God rested, and he created Adam and Eve. And they were in Eden, hanging out, right? Then all of a sudden, he lays down some rules. He says, hey, listen, you guys are in paradise. I just don't want you to go over there and eat an apple off of that fucking tree. You know, is that so goddamn hard to not eat a piece of fruit? Who gives a shit? It's fruit. No one wants to eat fruit. The only people who eat fruit are kids whose parents are making them eat them. Okay? Vegetarians and some 50-year-old Wall Street guy who just suffered his 3rd heart attack. Then maybe he'll have a fucking apple so he doesn't die. But other than that, how easy is it not to eat an apple, right? But Eve, the stupid fucking whore that she is, you're not going to tell me I can't do something. And because she's a broad and you can't punch her in the face, what does she have to worry about? Huh? Who the fuck is this God guy to tell me I can't go out and have an apple? So what does she do? She marches right over there with her pubic hair blowing in the fucking wind because there's no shame at this point because there's been no sin. Everything's great. You can walk around and go pet a cheetah. It doesn't immediately, or a leopard. It doesn't immediately grab you by the throat, fucking snap your neck and then drag you up in a tree.
so the lions can't get to it, or somebody else, maybe a fucking baboon, with its psycho goddamn teeth. Do you know that's one of the fucking major adversaries for a leopard is a fucking baboon? I never knew that shit. They got those giant teeth. Who would have known? Very agile. Left to right sort of movement. Like a water bug. These insane things. But hey, let's get back to the Bible as far as I remember it, right? So there goes Eve, walking up to the fucking apple tree like one of those Victoria's Secret whores walking down the first fucking runway. Although she's not wearing heels. She's just walking, and she never steps on a rock, doesn't step on some glass from a broken Miller Lite bottle, because she's in paradise. She walks right over there, and some snake starts that's what happens. Some snake starts yapping in her ear, right? Like some douche on Facebook who finds your wife in her semi-hot pictures, starts emailing her, right? Worming his way into the relationship, right? So this whore goes up, and what does she do? She reaches up, and she takes a bite of fruit. She eats an apple. As far as I've been told, part of this nutritious breakfast. Part of a balanced diet. She eats a fucking apple. Maybe she wanted to be regular, right? So she eats the apple, and then God goes, what the fuck did I the one thing I say not to do, and you got to go do it. Go fuck yourself. That's the end of paradise. The next thing you know, she's putting a leaf over a fucking clam. All right? Adam's over there. He didn't do shit, but evidently he gets punished too because it's religion. The punishment never has to make sense. It just has to be really fucking scary. So now they're both fucked. Now all of a sudden the leopards want to fucking take a bite out of their ass, so they got to get sharpened sticks and all this type of shit, right? And according to the Bible, all of that happened like fucking a couple 100,000 years ago. And then one day, some nerd who's not getting pussy, he's so fucking hard up, he just starts digging in the ground. He's got all that sexual frustration. He just keeps digging in the ground. And one day he finds these dinosaur bones that are way fucking older than the Adam and Eve story. So it kind of kills the whole goddamn thing. Now that, as far as I know, is the story in the Bible, how the Bible goes down. And that's why people on the science side question the Bible. Now, like I said, I haven't read it. All right? So people who've read it, can you give me the cheat notes? Or are you Bible thumpers out there who think the Bible is the best book ever fucking written? Aside from the fact that when it was written, they still thought the fucking world was flat. They thought if you were gay, you go to hell, and all that other intolerant horseshit in there. But, I never read the fucking thing, so, let me know. Because this guy's trying to claim that they address dinosaurs in the Bible, calling them behemoths. Which is amazing considering we never discovered the fucking bones until after the book was written. So how does that work? Huh? Was that when God was a burning bush and all the fish was coming out of the basket and he just sort of muttered something about behemoths and nobody understood it, but it was God, so they just wrote it down anyways? Is that what you're going to claim? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Who can turn the world on with her tits? What did I want to talk about this week? How about the Bruins? Bruins making the fucking playoffs. I'm predicting that the Bruins will once again make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen is they're not going to go any further. I don't know. I'm just going to say that because hopefully they'll prove me wrong. Who knows? We got a great goalie. You know what's scaring me is fucking Carey Price up in Montreal has been playing fantastic. All right? And for some reason, when the Bruins have a great goalie, it only gets us so far. But those sons of bitches up there with Ken Dryden, Patrick Waugh back in fucking 93 when they went on that implausible run. Won like 19 overtime games. One of the great runs at winning the Stanley Cup of all fucking time. Who knows? I don't know. I think the Flyers will beat them. The Flyers never seem to have a problem with the Canadians. They don't give a fuck. Right? They're just going to punch you in the face. Anyways, hey, listen to this shit. You know something? What happened to me twice this week is people they don't hear what the fuck I'm saying. This is the classic thing when you're doing stand-up comedy. You stand on stage and you tell a bunch of jokes and everybody laughs. Everybody's having just a great time. And then all of a sudden you come around to a subject that touches a little close to somebody's life, and all of a sudden you're not telling jokes anymore. Now you're making statements. Well, lo and behold, once again this happens. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but my Let It Go special is now up on Netflix, the unedited version, the version that I wanted the world to see. But that dream was crushed because on Comedy Central they have advertisers, and that's how they make their money, which I respect. So then, they got to cut out some jokes. They got to start doing the Morse code because they say fuck every other word and then yada, yada, yada. But now it's on Netflix. Now it's on Netflix, and you can watch that son of a bitch completely unedited. So please tell your friends. Please tell your family. Tell some of your enemies. So anyway, some woman evidently watched my special, my stand-up comedy special, the one where I go on and act like an ass, and I'm telling jokes just to make you laugh, just to fucking appease my ego. That's all I'm doing. So anyways, this lady starts off, and she says, offended by your stay-at-home mom bit. She starts off, hi. Obviously, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Why is that obvious? Because you said you're offended by my stay-at-home mom bit? Why couldn't you be just a supporter of stay-at-home moms? Oh, I'm being a cunt right out of the gate. Let's read this. She starts off, hi. Obviously, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I love watching stand-up. But I couldn't continue watching you based on your bit about stay-at-home moms. You know what I love about it? It's an hour-long special, and I think I opened with that joke. Or it was literally within the first 5 minutes, and she had to shut it off. She says, I'm really sorry you feel that way about stay-at-home moms. That's one of my pet peeves, is when someone's about ready to take the piss out of me. I hate when they apologize. Okay? You're not sorry. You're not sorry that I feel that way. You fucking hate me because I feel that way. All right? Stop apologizing. Oh, God, my voice is cracking. Stop apologizing. All right? Anyway, she goes, and if it weren't for us, there would be no one to drill holes and to do all the other important jobs that you mentioned. All right? If it weren't for you, what do you just fucking meditate and you make a person? You self-centered fucking whore. Can you believe she just took credit for the creation of babies? 100% credit. What about the guy who fucking sticks it in you? Huh? I'm getting close. Ugh. What about that part of it? If there wasn't some hairy, sweaty man pounding away at your fucking womanhood, to completion, I might add, a number of times during the course of a month, 2 months, possibly 3 months, if you got some sort of issue down there, for some reason I don't know what the fuck. I never try to do it, but I know, we're having a difficult time. We're trying to get pregnant, but we're having a difficult time. It's not the fucking part. It's the impregnation part. She's just totally taking away all of that. That evidently that she just sits there and all of a sudden she's pregnant. Kind of like that chick in the Bible. Hanging out with that fucking hippie bum, Joseph, right? He's sitting over in the corner with his vaporizer. Hey, man, I notice it looks like you're putting on weight, man. You got to lay off the Doritos, man. Right? And all of a sudden she's fucking pregnant. So evidently this broad, she's taking full credit for getting pregnant, completely ignoring the man's part of it. I'm getting close. That's that's the noise I make when I climax. By the way, I announce to the female in a really high pitched voice, sort of a whiny voice. I'm getting close, and then I put my mouth right next to her ear and I go. Ugh. That's how it goes down in my world. Some of the most sophomoric humor I've ever done, and right now there's a bunch of guys laughing.
And there's a bunch of females with their nose all wrinkled up. This is what you listen to? This is what you think is funny? Yes, bitch, this is what I think is funny. Why don't you go back out in the kitchen and finish making potato salad, all right? The 4th of July is coming up. It made no sense. Okay, and if it weren't for us, there would be no one drilling holes and doing all the other important jobs that you mentioned. I didn't say they were important. I didn't say those jobs were important. You didn't even listen to the bit. Let me continue reading here. I said, Oprah said that being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet. If she said it's the most important job, I would have gone with her. But she said it was the most difficult job. That right there was the seed of the bit that I created. Okay? Just like you, creating the fucking kid. But I don't feel like I created the joke on my own. It took Oprah to say to plant the seed by saying that it was the most difficult job on the planet. All right? That was her climaxing into my joke pussy. Oh, that's disgusting. Anyways, so now I think everybody's wrinkling their nose. So here we go. So she continues after not even hearing what I'm saying. And she said, and the reason you stay in your pajamas all day, that was a line I said, talking about women, is because you don't have 1 minute to change. Try taking a shower and putting on clothes on with children screaming and crying at the shower door. It's 24/7. It never stops. You don't click a time card. You never get off work. It's 24/7. You have absolutely no idea until you're in it. I made a lot of money in my career before motherhood. I earned my MBA and other degrees. I've lived and worked abroad. Motherhood is the hardest job I've ever done. I've never said it's not the hardest job that you've ever done. Okay? All right, but I'm willing to bet that you've never done a job harder than working on a fucking oil rig in the middle of the ocean. All right, sweetheart? Being a mom is not more difficult than working on an oil rig in the middle of the fucking ocean. How about that guy out there who worked on one and it fucking blew up? He's got 2nd-degree burns on his back. They're going to turn into 3rd-degree burns, and then he's eventually going to explode into flames. So his only option is to jump, basically the equivalent of a 3-story building. He jumps off it with his raw, burned-up back into the salt water of the ocean. Also, now covered in oil. He's covered in oil with 2nd-degree burns in salt water. Okay? He can barely fucking breathe. The fucking ocean is catching on fire because of the oil that's on the surface of the water. He has to swim out of that. Get out into the ocean, but not get too far away because he wants to get rescued. Now he's got to sit there treading water, hoping he doesn't get eaten alive by sharks or drown or die, I don't know what else, while he waits for the Coast Guard to come and pick him up. Now you tell me, all the mothers out there, I want you to explain to me a day that was more difficult than that. And not only that, all this woman is doing is talking about the negative aspects of being a mother. She's not talking about how rewarding it is. You don't get unconditional love from a fucking oil rig. It's not going to be sitting there at your deathbed holding your fucking hand telling you that, the oil rig is everything it is today because of you as a person. Give me a fucking break. All right? And also, you made the choice to become a mother by letting that guy get on top of you. I'm getting close. Right? Typical fucking broad. It's your fucking idea. She continues. Your joke is so offensive and so totally wrong. It's disgusting. Another thing. This is precious time to me in the evening. Well, I didn't fucking ask you to email me. Good Lord. What a fuck. This is a mother. Look at her working with the guilt. This is precious time to me in the evening. You were watching a stand-up special. That was going to take a whole fucking hour. You shut it off 7 minutes into it. That gives you an extra 53 minutes to write 2 paragraphs. They're so full of shit. So anyways, Now she's trying to make me feel guilty. Like I'm taking away from her fucking day. Another thing, this is precious time to me in the evening when I can be taking a shower, read or watch a show, and recharge for the next day. Wait a minute. You just told me that being a mom was a 24/7 job. It never stops. It never ends. Here you are chilling out, wanting to take a shower, read, or watch a show and recharge for the next day. Jesus Christ. She goes, or maybe later tonight when one of my children get up. I'm not on Facebook. I don't waste any time on the computer, and I don't complain about things. But this was so offensive that I made time for this email. Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Your unbelievably 24/7 day. And you just had to say something. Then this is awesome. This is how she ends her email. She says, very disappointed. Jamie. Oh, actually, I never named names. Okay, so this is what I love about this. This woman is obviously going to be a great mom. Okay, she's dedicated to it. She's walked away from her MBA career and all that type of shit so she can focus on her career. Okay? But what you can see here is the resentment that's already building because she's already throwing out guilt onto everybody. That's what I love about mothers, all right? No one told you to become a mother. You made that fucking choice, and now you actually have, like, resentment for your fucking job. And you're starting to put it on your kids. I can tell you're already putting it on your kids because you're trying to put it on me. You try to make me feel guilty that you took the time to send me a fucking email. I didn't ask you to send me a fucking email. And then you end it with very disappointed, like I'm looking for your approval. See, you're already getting your God complex because your fucking kids are looking at you like you know every goddamn answer on the planet. Which you don't. Jesus Christ. So there you go. There you go, people. There it is in a nutshell. That's what it's like to be a stand-up comedian. You make one fucking joke, okay, about an overstatement that someone said that being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet. So what is that? That makes me think about all these other jobs. Digging for coal, you know, being president of the United States and having to decide that we're going to go to war. And then you got to lay in bed knowing that a bunch of people are now going to die. Babies, women, you know, 18 to 21-year-old fucking people who signed up right out of goddamn high school to be in the Army, Marines, Navy. You got to make that. You got to lay in bed, try and get fucking 8 hours sleep with that shit weighing on your head. You know, that was a joke. It's not the most difficult job on the planet. If you said it's the most important, I would have gone with that. All right? I said, I was arguing that it wasn't the most difficult. Okay? And this is what happens. People, they don't hear what you're saying. And then they go off on another tangent, like this other fucking cunt. This is a guy. All right? This guy, what the fuck did he talk? Where the hell is it? Oh, Jesus, Bill. Oh, Jesus. Look what you did. You just slowed the whole fucking thing down. I disagree. He said, Bill, love the podcast, but I disagree with you on the whole music downloading thing. Most of my music that I have is not bought for good reason. First of all, the last 2 CDs I bought brand new from the store skipped in multiple CD players right out of the box. Secondly, artists only get about 5 to 10 cents per CD, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't add up to much compared to the money they get from T-shirts and gigs. Now, don't get me wrong. The people that just download thousands of CDs worth of stuff and never go to shows, they're the douchebags. I try to go to at least 5 shows a year. Wow! And I go to Lollapalooza in Chicago once every 3 years. So, am I a loser to you, Bill? No, you're not a loser. You're just stealing music. You're stealing fucking music. And you're trying to shine it all up like, hey, man, the artist doesn't make any fucking money. You bought 2 CDs from the store and they skipped in multiple places. Dude, you can go to iTunes and you can download music in a digital form, and that doesn't skip. All right? You're trying to justify the fact that you steal thousands and thousands of dollars worth of fucking music, and then you spend, you know, a couple $100 on concert tickets and T-shirts and shit, and there you go. I didn't steal 100% from you. I completely disagree with you. I'm not saying you're a loser. I'm saying you're a thief. You're stealing. And you know you're stealing. All right? I'm not a musician, dude. I bought CDs. I bought those things. I know they start to skip, but if I buy them, I fucking upload them onto my computer. But I do all of my shit through iTunes. But I don't steal music. And when I did steal it, I addressed the fact that I was stealing music. I wasn't saying that I wasn't part of the fucking problem. Back in the day when it first came out, my eyes fucking dropped out of my head to free music, and I went to LimeWire and I downloaded a couple hundred fucking songs. But in the end, when people presented the argument, dude, you're stealing, I couldn't get around it. I was like, yeah, you're right, I am. So I stopped. So I'm not saying I'm better than you, and I'm not saying you're a fucking loser. What I'm saying is you're stealing fucking music, however you frame it. And going to a couple of concerts doesn't make up for the fact that you stole the music. You know? It's like concert tickets cost money. It's not like a concert ticket was free and you made a donation. You still got something out of your money. You got a T-shirt and you got a fucking concert ticket. So you're acting like those monies make up for the fact that you stole music. Like you didn't get anything out of the concert ticket and putting down money for a T-shirt. You got a fucking rock show or hip-hop show, whatever the fuck you went to, and you got a T-shirt. That doesn't make up for the fact that you stole the fucking music. It doesn't. All right? So like I said, I'm not saying you're a loser. You're a fucking thief. Oh, I'm on my goddamn high horse here. Let's get to underrated, overrated here, people. A topic that I thought was dying that I'm actually pleased to say is making a comeback. Oh, before I do that, I mentioned a few weeks ago that the short film Cheat that me, Joe DeRosa, and Robert Kelly wrote and acted in, and Joe DeRosa did a phenomenal job directing this movie, the short film. We got it into the Tribeca Film Festival, which is one of the biggest film festivals out there. It's right up there with Sundance and all that type of stuff. And I wanted to give you guys the screening times. If you're actually in the New York area and you want to come down and support our film, we would love to see you down there. We're going to try to hang out at as many screenings as we possibly can. There's a couple of them that we're not allowed to go to just because there's going to be industry there and they want to review the film, and you know we can't be breathing down their necks, making them uncomfortable. So here are the screening times. Saturday, April 23rd at 7 p.m. is the first screening. And of course, I don't have where they're screening. I'm such a fucking idiot. I'll give you this information. I'll just tell you when they are. They're Saturday at 7 p.m., Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. That's April 27th, and Saturday, April 30th at 4 p.m., and Sunday, May 1st at 7:30 p.m. I believe I'm calling in the Opie and Anthony show this week. I believe Thursday this week, DeRosa and Bobby Kelly are going to be on there, and we're going to have all the rest of the information. So, what an idiot I am. Why am I such a fucking moron? You know what? Go to the mmpodcast.com. We'll have the actual, that's the official fan page, by the way. And he gets all the shit right. I'm such a fucking moron. I was so excited to tell you guys all that type of shit. And what did I do? What did I do? I fucked the whole thing up. All right. You feel that? Do you hear that silence? The podcast has just screeched to a grinding halt, and it's 100% my fault. All right. Underrated, overrated for this week. All right. Underrated. This guy says ice cream sandwiches. They are made from the cheapest ice cream and the crappiest cookies, but they are fucking delicious, and I can eat like 5. I actually had a debate with Nia on this one. I thought he was literally talking about ice cream sandwiches, but she's saying because he said cookies, he means those ones that have like the chocolate chip cookies and with that generic ice cream in the middle. It's basically, you know, the filling that they put in hot dogs. It's the ice cream version of that. And he said he can eat like 5. And I am right there with you. I'm right there with you. I think I could eat 6, but I would get sick. But I could eat 5 just like you, and I would not be sick. And my body at no point would be acting like what I was doing was incorrect until about 15 minutes later, when I suddenly would have to take a nap. You ever eat really bad food and you have to take a nap? You get all sleepy, or as black people call it, the itis. You get the itis. I told you that story a long time ago, didn't I? I'll tell it to you again. The fuck? I got an hour to kill here. I know I got some new listeners. Now, back in the day when I was on the Chappelle Show tour, and it was me, Charlie Murphy, and Donnell Rawlings, who played Ashy Larry. We went out in 2004, mid 2004, and toured. I stayed on the tour till about the end of February 2005. And these guys used to break my balls about my shirts, all my clothes, and all that type of shit. That actually turned into a bit when I did my half-hour special. That whole bit, this motherfucker only has 5 shirts, that came from hanging out with those guys, doing talent shows back in the day. Drew Frazier and all those guys. Rob Stapleton, who other room did I used to do? Capone's rooms, all those things when I used to jump back and forth between the black rooms, white rooms, mainstream rooms, or uptown rooms, as I used to call them. But anyways, so these guys used to, they used to just give me shit and that type of stuff. So we had gone out drinking, or I had gone out drinking, and I was brutally fucking hungover, and I just didn't want to listen to that shit. And we were driving from Chicago up to Vernon Hills to do the Zanies up there, and it was a good hour and a half drive. I don't know what, but it was going to seem like 5 hours. And I could tell that they were just going to be fucking on my shit because I was really hungover. So what I did was I asked I walked out to try to get some fresh air, and I saw that there was a Popeye's chicken like fucking 2 blocks up. So I ran up there and got like a fucking, I don't know, a 17-piece of that shit with biscuits and all of that shit. We were leaving right around 11. And we go and we get in the fucking limo to go up there, and I bring, hey guys, I got us some food. And I ate 1 piece and watched them devour like another 5, 6 pieces, a couple of biscuits, right? And they were already giving me shit. And within fucking 15 minutes, they were fucking sound asleep. And I just sat there with a smile on my face, with some of that greasy food in my stomach, but not enough to make me fall asleep, just enough to feel comforted, right? And I had my sunglasses on, and we cruised all the way up there, and they slept the whole fucking way. It's one of the brilliant moves in my stand-up career. So anyways, speaking of that shit, I'm actually getting myself into great shape here. You want to know how I've been doing it? Well, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to tell you anyway. I mentioned it back in the day. I got a juicer. And like most things, when you get something new, you're all about it. You're all about it for like, I don't know what, right? A week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. And then one day, you just blow it off. You just fucking blow it off. And then it starts gathering dust. And then every once in a while, you just look at whatever you bought, your iPad, your fucking, I don't know what. Your whatever gadget you had, and it's just over there collecting dust. And you just have that feeling like, God, I used to be so fucking into that thing. It's kind of like a relationship. You meet some hot girl, you're telling your friends, dude, this is one of the hottest fucking chicks I've ever been with. She's got like the perfect tits. You ever do that? You start describing her body to all your fucking animal guy friends, and then all of a sudden it turns into a relationship. And now it's your girlfriend, and now I described the tits to my friends, or the fucking crazy things she did in bed, And then what happens? You're totally into her, you're banging, and then just one day, you don't even notice. You're just not into it anymore. And then one day you're walking by, and you look, and there's your pussy, just gathering dust like your fucking laser disc player, and you're wondering what the fuck happened. And that's the moment where you realize if you're with the right person or not. Because if you decide that you're going to work at the relationship and get the sparks going again, you're with the right person. But if you're just looking at it like a fucking old VCR, it's time to move on. That's what I think. So anyways, let's get back to the juicer, everybody. So the juicer, evidently, is my fucking gadget soulmate, because I looked at it and I was getting sad going, you know what, I got to fucking, I got to get this thing back in my life. I got to find where did we lose the magic? So I went to the health food store, and I went in there like a little fucking, vegan. I fucking go in there, right? Oh, you know what's funny? This place right around the corner from where I live sells that coconut water that I absolutely love, that I drank on Joe Rogan's show. And then they told me they got on Amazon.com, and I ordered it on Amazon.com. You know me, I'm totally fucking, I got the OCD, like, or whatever. When I get into shit, I get into shit. And it was like 20-something bucks to get like 12 of these things. So it was already expensive. And then, if you know, you just do 5 to 6 business days, who gives a fuck? They charge you like $3. But I was like, no, I want that shit in 2 days. So my shipping cost was as much as the goddamn price of the coconut. I paid like $40 for 12 of them. And then I go down the street when I reintroduce myself to my juicer, going, hey, baby, let's, what happened to us, man? Let's watch a movie tonight, right? I go over to the fucking vegetable place. Oh, you know what that creepy little analogy just reminded me of? I guess there's some fucking show out there where people are in love with inanimate objects. Like they actually like fuck a fence or a bridge, or they want to like marry the Eiffel Tower. Can somebody please tell me what that show is? I really want to watch that. Because I saw that one that was Fatal Attractions, where people have wild animals that they try to turn into they try to turn into pets. And those people were just so fucking stupid to me that I couldn't watch the show. But I ended up hearing that show was good because they get into the psychology of why somebody gets into that. When I saw that guy with the buffalo walking around his house, and every time he walked by him, that buffalo would slam him into the wall, and he looked like Wayne Gretzky getting fucking checked by any sort of fucking normal-sized hockey player, and he'd just be like, ugh, as he would walk by. No, she's just playing. It was so fucking stupid, I couldn't watch it. So if anybody can tell me what the name of that show is where people are like in love with like a door. Dude, how much alone time are you spending? I mean, I haven't even heard that in jail. Well, in solitary confinement, do you get in love with the walls? I bet you do at some point. At some point, you just from just lack of human contact, that man brain kicks in where you get visually stimulated. You got to get visually stimulated by something. And there would just be like, I bet it's like at some point during the day when the sun starts going down, right? And the shadow just hits the wall a certain way. And there you are. There you are, you sweet little naughty piece of plaster. Where you been for the last 23 hours? Oh, shh, I don't want to hear it, That's so fucking creepy. Actually, somebody who's probably in jail or has been in jail is going to be, actually, when you're in solitary confinement, there's no sunlight. All right, whatever. Whatever the fuck it is. You fuck the floor. There you go. Is that in any prison book? I think I hit my low point when I was consistently fucking the floor. All right, let's continue on here. So anyway, I got my juicer back in my life. That's what the fuck I'm trying to tell you. So I go to the goddamn health food store, right? And what's great about going to the health food stores? Even though the aisles are really skinny, much skinnier than one of the grocery stores, those fucking, people who actually eat healthy they're just waif human beings. They do yoga. Little wispy, little, those dogs, little whippets. They're just like them, walking up and down the aisles with their fucking tail between their legs trying to pick out zucchini. So I'm going in there, right? Suddenly feeling like I'm on roids because I look so much bigger. I'm full of shit. There was a couple decent-sized people in there, but whatever. So I go in there. I pick out all this fucking fruits and vegetables to juice. So that's how I've been starting my day, people. Starting my day. I fucking juice. Then I go get my fucking pit bull. We go for a walk. We go for a hike for like an hour. I come back and then I have a bowl of oatmeal with a handful of raisins thrown in there. That's how I start my day, and it's been fucking great for me. I'm not trying to preach to you people. I'm not trying to be a fucking breakfast Nazi here, but this is what I realize with me. This is how I get out of whack, is if I start my day either with I can't even just say toast and eggs, but if I throw the bacon in there, then it's really extra salty. Then I got to throw a little jam on my toast, to try to level myself off, just like a fucking cokehead, drinking alcohol to bring me down a little bit, I got the salt. The salt's making me sleepy, so I put the jelly on the toast to bring me back up. Right there, I'm out of fucking whack. Or if I have French toast or anything you put syrup on, then my sugar goes through the roof. Next thing you know, I'm grabbing a handful of fucking potato chips. like an hour later, and then like for the rest of the day, my blood sugar, I don't know what it is. It probably looks like a, what do you got? One of those things with the heart thing. Sonogram, whatever the fuck you call it. Not a telegraph. What do you call that fucking thing? When you're laying there in the hospital. And they're looking at your heart rate. That's what it looks like. Salt, sugar. That's what I do for the rest of the fucking day. And then at the end of the day, I take a big piece of cake and I shove it right down my fucking pie hole. And that's my day. And then gradually, my white, doughy stomach starts to hang over my belt, and then I hate myself. And then I start lashing out at people in the crowd. So, there you go. That's what's been working for me. So why don't you guys give it a shot if you want to. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. Oh, by the way, 170 days without booze, and I actually fucked it up yesterday. I was at a barbecue yesterday, and I accidentally twice had 2 sips of beer. Okay, so technically, in my world, my streak is still going because it was an accident, but I've had booze within the last 24 hours. And this is what I've noticed, what is really fascinating about the human brain. And I didn't realize this till I went to Stockholm, Sweden, when I did that gig over there. Remember I told you that story? And I went over there and everybody, and I forgot that, I didn't speak a word of Swedish. And everyone's going, Heisen. And I was, the comedian in front of me who was speaking English backstage went out there and did his whole act in Swedish and was killing. And the crowd's like, wow. And I'm freaking out going, are they even going to fucking understand me? This is what I learned when I was in Sweden, was I took for granted how much I don't read when I'm in the States. Because I think when you look at a stop sign, you don't read stop. You're just visually looking at it. And I didn't realize that shit until I went over to Sweden, and the amount of extra thinking that I had to do, where I would be looking at like a car and just be like, okay, is that a taxi or is that a police car? Or I'd have to look at a storefront and just sort of try to, because I can't read the word. It's in Swedish and it's like 97 fucking letters. I'd have to just really sit there looking. Is that clothes? Is there food in there? What the fuck is that? That's what happened to me at the party. I opened the refrigerator door, and I saw this green can, and I immediately equated it with soda, and then my brain told me it was a Sprite. Turned out it was 7-Up, and right next to it was a red and white can. So I actually think it was just red. So in my world, that was Coke. So I reached for the Coke, opened it up, took a sip of it, thinking I was drinking Coca-Cola, and it was a Mexican beer. And I drank it, and I didn't even recognize it. I don't know, it was a weird-tasting beer. I thought it was like iced tea, and I looked down, and I'm reading it. And I'm just looking for Coke. And I'm looking all over the words, and finally I see beer. I'm like, did I just drink a beer? And I was like, fuck, there goes my goddamn streak. So, of course, Nia's laughing at me. So then I go over and grab what I thought was a Sprite. It was actually a 7-Up. I started drinking that. And then later on, at the party, you grab the wrong thing. Once again, I thought I was drinking Coke. And I reached over and I grabbed another thing, another fucking swig of beer. So I want you guys to know, is my streak over? All you addicts out there, what does that mean? If you do that, if you're in AA, do you have to turn in your chip and start all over again? And go up there and cry at the podium because you actually had a sip of beer? Do I get any credit with the fact that I opened the beer, took the sip of the beer, and just said, oh, fuck, this is, I thought this was Coke, it's a beer, and I just set it down, I didn't have any more? Anybody? Can you help me out here? This is when I wish I took callers. I'm glad I don't take callers because I think callers really slow down the fucking show. Half of them are fucking prank phone calls. And then half the people, it just takes them too goddamn long. Plus, I like talking. All right? You haven't noticed the fact that I rarely have a guest on this show and I can somehow keep it going for a fucking hour? That's not an amazing ability. That is an incredible personality flaw. All right, more underrated, overrated. Unpaid internships, overrated. I graduated from college less than a year ago and have been looking for a job in my area of studies for more than a year with no success. Dude, my heart goes out to these fucking kids just getting out of college right now in one of the worst economies ever. It's just fucking ridiculous. They already overcharged you for your fucking education. And these goddamn bankers screwed the whole fucking economy up. Anyways, plowing ahead. He says, while looking for a job, I encountered numerous agencies that offer internships, but none for pay. It seems, how is that legal, by the way? You don't pay them anything? It seems like many places take advantages of the bad economy and the desperate job seekers to lure them into doing work for free. Unfortunately, I'm one of them. Dude, what kind of a fucking scumbag? This is what, I want to go undercover into corporate America, and I want to see how that goes down. Is it just like the mob where you're like, hey, it's not fucking personal, it's business. Oh!
Well, if you check out the market, what the market will bear now is it's advantageous if you're the employer to not to take advantage of the human resources and offer them a negative cash flow contract. However they never just come out and say, hey, let's take advantage of the future and pay them absolutely nothing. So we can put rims on our flashy fucking cars. Anyways, he says, what do these agencies offer in exchange? Experience, building your resume, making connections with other employees, promises of hiring after a short period, and other bullshit like that. He says, fuck that, in capital letters. You mentioned in Joe Rogan's podcast how comedians should not offer their material for free in exchange for exposure, and I completely agree. These unpaid internships that are so popular right now need to stop. I'm more efficient than some of my full-time coworkers at my internships, which are not a surprise, are part of a workers' union. And I work, here comes my bad reading skills. I got totally confused with his parentheses. He says, and I work there only 2 days out of the week. If it wasn't funny, it would be sad. So he's basically saying in those 2 days he does more work than the people who are members of the union. That's something that unions have to address here. I'm all about unions, but, just because you now have the power to lean on a shovel doesn't mean you should. And that's what's really fucked over unions. Unions were a great idea, and people died, had their heads kicked in, got shot at by our own fucking army when guys like Andrew Carnegie had the connections to bring them in, like he did there in the fucking banks of the Allegheny out there in Pittsburgh or wherever the fuck it was at. That's now a mall. All right? They needed those unions so we could avoid the sweatshop labor conditions that existed in this country. And then what happened? Aside from the mob taking over those things, what happened is guys used the unions, the power of unions, as a way to get over fucking paid and not to bust their ass at work anymore. So then they became the exact fucking thing that they were rebelling against. So I understand why corporations move their fucking companies out of this country. I also understand why that there had to be unions. This is what it always comes down to, is people are people. Rich people aren't the only greedy fucking assholes out there. Middle class and poor people, if you put them in a position where they can be greedy, the sad thing is most people will take advantage of this situation. These are not unique theories. This is the overall theory, harsh theory that most people learn when they get out of their house and they get into the real world. You realize that most people are cunts. There's very few good people out there. Poor, middle class, or fucking rich. There's very few people that'll actually do the right thing. So I 100% agree with that. It would be, speaking of unions, it would be great if you could somehow start one. That's what you need to do, is you need to get everybody on the same page and say, listen, we're not saying you got to give us all of us, but this fucking working for free is ridiculous. They're totally taking advantage of you because of the market. But I guess if it's a good market, you guys can take advantage of them. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. Who the fuck knows? But there's just something wrong with having kids work for fucking free. All right?
And I will say to people who are in unions, which I am 100 in support of, you motherfuckers need to work harder, and you'll have a better public image. Now, I'm not saying everybody in unions don't, all of them lean on shovels, but you know why you got that reputation. Okay, I'm Irish. I know why we got the reputation for being a bunch of drunk motherfuckers, because so many of us are, or at least enough of us got so fucking drunk that we completely wiped out any sort of good Irishman out there. All right? So there you go. Another one, documentaries, underrated. In the last few months, I've become a big fan of documentaries, especially about our corrupted economy, our fucked up culture, and our dying planet and environment. I have to say, these films put a really gray picture as far as our civilization goes. Yeah, I know. That's why I kind of stopped watching them. I just try to do the right thing in my own life. If I watch too many of those, they really depress the shit out of me. The present is already looking bad, and I do not see a way we can dig ourselves out of this hole that we've created. I just don't understand why people dismiss these types of films. Are they trying to avoid the painful truth? Absolutely. I just said I was. Are they in denial? Absolutely. There are ways and solutions to fix it, but as long as we have Democrats versus Republicans, white versus blacks versus Hispanics, coal and oil energy versus clean energy, and most importantly, fucking paper money and stock markets, nothing's going to change. Yeah, this is the exact conclusion that I came to. Although I don't agree that a lot of the clean energy they say is clean energy. Like, as much as I drive a hybrid, which is really a scam, it's only an electric car when it's going 5 miles an hour other than that, it's just an underpowered gas car. But it does burn clean, and it does get great gas mileage. But, electric cars, I mean, those batteries, eventually you have to dispose of those, and those things wreak havoc. Basically, human beings in general wreak havoc on the environment. So I think the solution is you have to have some sort of population control. And they should do it sooner rather than later, because if they did it sooner, we could avoid some sort of Stalin-esque / Hitler solution, because that's what the fuck they're going to do. I think the problem with human beings is we treat global problems the same way a college kid treats doing a term paper. We do it the night before. Remember Y2K? We knew that shit was coming. And it ended up not being a fucking problem, but everybody panicked in the final 2 months. They were talking about it for 10 years that we were going to possibly have this fucking problem. And we waited until the last fucking second. And I think that the population problem is going to be the same thing. There's too many fucking people. There's nothing wrong with chopping down trees. There's nothing wrong with using coal. There's nothing wrong with driving a big car. There's nothing wrong with any of that. The problem is that there's 7 billion people on the fucking planet. That's a problem. All right, we need to get that number way the fuck down. Way the fuck down. I would say under 1 billion. Under 1 billion people, you need to do that. So I think that you should just implement laws, the amount of people kids that you can have. And I also think that, you should offer people money to not have kids. Adopt kids, recycle. I think that they should do all of that type of stuff while they try to have cleaner burning cars and that type of shit, and just gradually let people kind of die off. That's what I feel. Because if you don't do that, then eventually, I think that we're going to run out of food, run out of clean water, and you're going to have the rich in their gated communities, and they're going to be guarded by the Blackwater people, and they're just going to be shooting out the rest of us in their fucking heads, in our heads. That's what I think is going to happen, personally. If Mother Nature doesn't get us first. All right, that was uplifting. All right, let's get to advice for the week. Bill, a year and a half ago, where the hell am I? A year and a half ago, me and this girl that I used to work with were hanging out a lot and fooling around all summer. Very nice. It was pretty casual. There you go. That's how you set it up. It's pretty casual. Wonderful. Now, if he can the art is trying to keep it there. And as I've told you before, what that is, it's the time between you hooking up. Okay? When you keep it casual and that type of shit, if you want to hang out and have drinks, that's fine. But when you get back to your place, you do the deed, and that's it. She's got to go. You can't hang out and watch a movie. That's when they start getting feelings. It's not fair to the female. You know, that's what you got to do. Don't call them all the fucking time. You got to keep it fucking casual. All right, continuing, which is kind of hard to do when you work with her. But anyways, he goes, it was pretty casual. But that was only because we both knew I had to leave in August, so we made a point to not get too serious. Beautiful. Once the summer ended, I had to go back to school in Miami, so our situation kind of ended, but we stayed in touch. Then recently, this last spring break, I went home for 10 days. When I let her know I was going to be in town, she said that we had to hang out, but only as friends because she had a boyfriend, which I was fine with. All right, dude. Now, I haven't read this one yet, but I got to tell you, right here, don't hang out with her more than once. All right? This is what you should do. In that situation, she's got a boyfriend, it's over. All right? So if she wants to hang out in a public place, and at the end of the night, you say you got to go. Don't bring up sex. Don't fucking do anything like what you used to do. She's got a boyfriend, you got to walk away from that situation. Not to mention, if the two of you are just hanging out, at any moment, her boyfriend could walk in and you could get the old fucking clattering to the side of the fucking head. Anyways, so the first day I was there, she came over to my house to hang out. Okay, that's a red flag right there. She's got a boyfriend. You come to town, she immediately drops her boyfriend and comes to hang out with you. All right, after a half hour of that awkward catching up conversation, we went up to my room to watch a movie. Oh, Jesus. Once the movie started, she made sure to drive home the fact that I shouldn't make a move on her because she's with someone else. Yeah, see right here, dude, she's playing with your dick. She's slapping it around, making it go up, and then she's going, hey, we got to take it easy, and then it goes back down again. She's fucking with you. She's fucking with you. She's playing the up and down game from the Opie and Anthony show with your dick. If you guys haven't seen that yet, I'm telling you, look that up on YouTube, the Opie and Anthony up and down game. It's one of the most genius bits I've ever seen. Fucking hilarious. Anyways, I completely disregarded this. Oh, so she tells you, yeah. Let me go back here. I really have to drop my commentary here. Why don't I just read the rest here? So the movie starts, and she drives home the point that he shouldn't make a move on her because she is with somebody else. So he says, I completely disregard this, and I put my arm around her anyways. 10 minutes into the movie. You know what? I respect that move, by the way. 10 minutes into the movie, we're in a full-on cuddle, and she's doing that shit where she's running her finger up and down my arm. Then out of nowhere, she flips around and climbs on top of me with that fuck me look in her eyes. Dude, this is a great story. She's even doing that pre-sex slightly heavy breathing. Dude, I haven't read this. I'm telling you, she's going to pull the emergency chute. This is the Richard Pryor bit where they wait till your dick is hard enough to cut diamonds, I believe is how Richard put it. Or Mr. Pryor. Let me have some fucking respect here. Saying Richard like I know the guy. She drops in to start kissing me, but stops an inch from my mouth and stays there for a second or two. Then she climbs off and goes back to cuddling. Oh. You know what, dude? You're young, you didn't know any better. But if you were older, you set yourself up for this. After recollecting myself, I started to say something, but the second I started talking, she flipped over and did it again. But for a bit longer this time. This time, I asked her what the fuck she was doing, and she giggled. Cunt. Yeah, dude. Right there, man. This is the thing. You got to take charge of the situation. You got to tell your dick to stand down and be like, look, either we're going to do this or we're not going to do this. I actually think at that point you should have just bounced her out of there and rubbed one out. That's the power move right there, man. That's the move that's going to make you feel better than if you even fucked her, because she's still going to get something out of it. She got to get laid, right? So fuck that. You should have kicked her out right then. Just been like, you know what? This was a bad idea. Shut this off. You have to go. You shouldn't be doing this. You have a boyfriend. See? You flip it around. You put the guilt on her. She leaves. You fucking rub one out, right? Then you don't give a shit that you didn't bang her. And then you fucking go out to the local watering hole. You know, you're going to run into some chick you went to fucking high school with. You're a little older, you're a little more manly, you get the scruff going, and you fucking tag her. And fuck this girl. She is a cunt. She has a boyfriend. She shouldn't be doing this shit. All right, let's continue. Where the hell was I? This time, though, she stayed. She did it for about full 30 seconds. Okay, so we went back to cuddling for the next 5 minutes until she did it for a third time. This time, though, she stayed there for about 30 seconds, and she would pull back every time I actually kiss her, so that she kept the inch between us. Once she got off, she started that giggling again, which by then had gone from cute to annoying as hell, and then slipped her shoes on and said she had to go. See, dude, if you took charge in one of those, you could have bounced her out. We didn't hang out again after that, and now I'm back in Miami. I guess my question is, what should I have done? I guess I already answered it. And what the fuck was she doing? Any answer would be great, or even a rant about those annoying teasing cunts. Thanks. Well, you know what, dude? I hadn't read this one. I was busy this week, and the guy who helps me with my podcast, who will remain nameless because that's how I do it, sent me this thing, and I'm a little late today, so it's the first time I read it. Yeah, that's what she was doing. She just, I don't know. You'd almost have to ask a female to get into the psychology of it, but I guess, like, I think that, I don't know, does she want to just see that you still want to fuck her? And that, like, I can tell you this right now, that her relationship with this other guy isn't going to work, and she has major fucking, not major, she's either really immature or eventually she has major issues, and she'll fuck up every relationship by doing shit like this, and eventually she's going to be that old hottie hanging out at the wine bar, you know, with the crow's feet around her eyes. You know that chick. She'll just end up being that girl. And then we'll look back in regret at all the good guys that she fucking dick teased as she was playing the fucking field. But this is what you do in the future. The second a girl is doing some shit like that, the second she said, listen, just so you know, I have a boyfriend. We can't be doing this. You should have said, you know what? You're right. Let's not watch a movie. And right then, you kick her out. So you have some sort of power. All right? And if you want to fuck a girl like that, you should have been the one saying no. You should have been the one pushing her off. All right? Because it sounds like she has that fucking thing where, you know, she gets off on the fact that you want her but can't have her. All right? So if you're acting like you don't want her, that fucks with her head. Like, wait a minute, what am I, losing my pussy power? And you just literally back your way into the fucking boat. Then you club her over the head, and then there you go. You got your fish in the boat. All right? That's how you do that. But I got to tell you, in the future, dude, chicks like that are just a complete fucking waste of time. You already banged her. So you already dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's. What the fuck are you still doing? You're there because you thought it was an easy fucking lay when you got back, which is understandable, okay? But the problem is you don't have your dick in check. Your dick is running your fucking life. You got to make the decisions, all right? And when you fucking do that, you start winning those a lot more. See, women have their pussies in check. That's why they always win those battles 90% of the fucking time. So there you go. That's the little information that I can help you with. But like I said, don't ever be afraid to fucking ask a female for advice on stuff like that. Not only will they give you advice, they actually enjoy doing it, and they'll have way better advice than I do because they're a fucking woman. You know what I mean? It's like you're calling me. You're asking a plumber about fucking carpentry. Go to a carpenter. All right. That is the podcast for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Seemed like a fairly smooth one, right? Can I whore out some dates here, people? Can you hang with me this long enough? Huh? Or maybe you're going to hang with me because you're on final approach. Oh, you know what I can't stand? This is what happened to me the other day. I went out to go buy my fucking water cooler that I want to have just in case a tsunami hits out here because I live on a fault line and I always want to have at least 5 to 10 gallons of water. You know, I'm already inland enough where the tsunami's not going to hit. If a tsunami hits me here, I'm telling you, Utah's in trouble. All right? So I go to Lowe's Hardware. I go there online. I look up to see if they have the one that I want. And and Lowe's has it. So rather than just saying they only have it online, I'm assuming it's at the fucking store. So I jump in my car and I drive over there, and they don't fucking have it. They don't fucking have it, and it's just, it just fucking drove me nuts. So then I stop off at a sporting goods store to buy a pump because my football doesn't have any air in it. And this is what you do at 42 when you don't have any fucking kids, You actually, you're still acting like you're fucking 14. So I don't know. I just had that moment when I went into the sporting goods store, I hate when they can't fucking help me. I'm asking a simple question, and then I start to flip out, and then they just call me sir a million fucking times. Sir, I'm sorry, sir, but sir, could you please not sir in the sir, please, sir? Thank you, sir. That fucking shit. That's what reminds me of flying on the plane. If you do anything, if you have your seat back, sir, could you please put your seat back up, sir? Thank you, sir. Sir, in order to expedite this, sir, could you please, sir? I fucking hate that. And that you know what I do? Then I, through gritted teeth, just say ma'am back 100 times. I'm sorry, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, could you stop ma'aming me, ma'am? You fucking cunt, ma'am. Sorry. That was a little bit of fucking half an ounce of rage I had to get out there. Let me get back to hyping my dates here. So anyways, this week, what a week I have. I'm going to be at the Record Theater for 2 shows. I believe the second show is already sold out. So if you want to get tickets, you better fucking hustle there. For you fucking cunt. Is the goddamn internet not working in this room? I really need to step my life up. I'm at the Record Theater this Friday, April 8th, for 2 shows. I believe they're like 8 and 10 or 8 and 10:30. I don't know what the fuck they are. My goddamn website won't come up. That's in Baltimore, outside of Baltimore, Maryland. And on Friday night, I'm at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Later on this month, I got 2 more shows. One is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, April 22nd at the Pabst Theater. Unbelievable response, by the way. I want to thank everybody beforehand in Milwaukee. Maybe that's why I had the Laverne and Shirley song in my head. Isn't that where that show was based at? They also worked at a beer factory. It's all coming full circle. And on the 23rd, I'll be at the Royal Oak Theater in Detroit, Michigan. Both of those dates are selling unbelievably well. Both of them are going to sell out, so get your tickets as soon as you can. And I want to thank everybody there for I've never played Milwaukee, and I have not played Detroit since I did the Rich Bitch tour, the Chappelle Show tour, back in, I think I did that in 2004. All I've done is I've done like kickers and that type of stuff outside of Detroit, but I haven't been in Detroit. So I guess it's Royal Oak. I have no idea. And then the last one is actually sold out. It's one of those antisocial comedy tour dates, and that one is Jim Norton put the tour together. Jim Norton from Little Jimmy from the Opie and Anthony show, best radio show out there for my money. Jim Norton, Jim Brewer, Dave Attell, and myself are all doing a comedy tour. We just added some dates. We have a date in Washington, D.C. on May 13th. We have one in June, I believe. It's at the Chicago Theater. These are all at antisocialcomedy.com. I believe that one is June 15th, I think. I don't know. All of that is on antisocialcomedy.com. Just click on tour dates. Those dates are all on sale. Please come down. You get 4 comics for the price of 1. We're playing some of the most beautiful venues in the country. More dates are going to follow because the turnout has been unbelievable. Ticket sales have been fantastic. So that's the podcast for this week. Real quick, Jay Miller, one of my favorite enforcers of the Boston Bruins, is in the hospital recovering from pneumonia. Just want to send him get well soon wishes. One of my favorites, and we're going to send a link, YouTube video. We got some great YouTube videos this week. I almost forgot about those. We're going to have one of Jay Miller holding his own against the greatest of all time, for my money, Bob Probert. And what are the YouTube videos for this week? Oh, we got some good ones. I got one from that show, Cheaters. You know that show, Cheaters, where they basically somebody thinks that somebody's cheating on them. So then what do? They hired this company and they start spying on the boyfriend and girlfriend. And when they confirm that they are in fact cheating, they show up and confront him. And this is one of the greatest ones I've ever seen. They confront this kid at an ice rink after he just played a hockey game. And, usually the person who's cheating, the dude is absolutely stunned. This guy handles it absolutely perfectly. He fucking breaks up with her. She shows up. She's like, because the chick he's cheating with is at the ice rink. She says, yeah, who the fuck is that? What the fuck are you doing here? And he just breaks up with her right on the spot. He's leaning on his stick, wiping the sweat off of his fucking nose. He looks like a hockey player in between periods going like, yeah, we got to work on our forechecking and hopefully we can get that goal back in the second period. He wasn't even sweating it. He just breaks up with her. She's like, yeah, who the fuck is that? What the fuck are you doing? He goes, yeah, we're done. She goes, what do you mean we're done? Just like that? He goes, yeah, it's over. She goes, that girl? Because the other girl was uglier. She goes, you're going to dump me for that girl? And he goes, what can I say? She does it right. And he didn't give a fuck. He was barely looking at her. He was just sitting there leaning on his stick. He wasn't nervous that there was cameras there. And he just fucking breaks up with her. And then his girlfriend doesn't know what to do. So she ends up getting into a fist fight with the chick he's cheating on. And he just sort of walks away into the locker room. It's fucking phenomenal. What else do we got? We have some hippie chick trying to give a presentation to a bunch of corporate people. What the hell are these YouTube videos? We got Paul Orndorff hyping the Hulkamania workout thing. That's one of my favorites. And we got a couple others. They're all going to be up at the mmpodcast.com. And like I stated earlier, if you want to send emails to this podcast, the new email address is bill@themmpodcast.com. Please keep them coming. You guys' emails, they get better each week. That's it. You guys all have a great weekend. A great week. All right, go fuck yourselves. I'll talk to you next week.